It is coming really quickly. Right now, we are just 4 days from opening statements in the Jerry Sandusky sexual abuse trial in Pennsylvania, and a newly picked jury of 7 men and 5 women will hear that case against the former Penn State football coach. And at least 8 of those panelists have links to the university, some of them actually showing up in court wearing clothing with Penn State logos. Joining me live in Bellefonte is NBC News national investigative correspondent Michael Isikoff, and then here in our studio, Sports Illustrated columnist and legal analyst Michael McCann. Gentlemen, it's good to have you here. Michael, I want to start with you right now as we talk about the situation there with the jurors. 8 jurors with ties to Penn State. Some observers say that this was impossible to avoid. Even so, what does this say to people concerned about impartiality in this case, not coming in with preconceived notions about what's going on and which is going to, benefit either side?
Well, it says that.
Well, Thomas, it's interesting because I think many people were surprised that this many persons.
Michael, I want
to
start with you on the scene real fast. Let me have Michael Isikoff start real fast from the scene.
Right, 2 Michaels. Yeah, look, lawyers and the judge clearly decided that Penn State ties, first of all, were inevitable in a trial in this community where the university looms so large, and secondly, would not be a barrier to impartially judging the evidence. Now, you talk to lawyers who are following this case, court observers, they say this could cut 2 ways. First of all, you have a lot of people in the Penn State community who are angry at Jerry Sandusky for besmirching the good name of the school through this scandal, and particularly the good name of Joe Paterno, the legendary coach who died earlier this year. On the other hand, all the defense needs is one juror who associates Jerry Sandusky with Joe Paterno, who associates Jerry Sandusky with the great days of the Penn State football program, and that may be all they need to prevent a conviction here. So it's really a crapshoot as to how this is going to play out. But I think a lot of people were surprised that jury selection went so quickly and that we have so many ties to Penn State in this trial.
Mr. McCann, let me put this one to you. We're just 4 days away from these opening statements. Give us the insights to the key players in this trial. You say the judge, Cleland, in this, no stranger to cases involving child victims. What does his being on the bench tell you?
Well, Thomas, he certainly is well qualified to handle a case like this. Judge Cleland was involved as an investigator in the Cash for Kids scandal, where a judge in Pennsylvania had taken money from a private prison and sent juvenile defendants there. So he certainly is qualified to look at cases involving child abuse. But I agree with Michael's comments that it's surprising that the jury has so many persons affiliated with Penn State. Part of it, of course, relates to the fact that they're in a part of the country where Penn State is the #1 economic driver. It's the #1 employer. It probably would have been difficult to pick a jury with no ties or few ties to Penn State.
Sure, it casts a huge shadow. Yesterday in court, Michael Isikoff, observers say that Sandusky at one point actually looked happy as this jury was being picked, and even turning to this pool and said, "What did you do to deserve me? How did you get stuck with this?" How did that play out?
Well, look, I don't know if he looked happy, but he certainly hasn't shown any signs of the stress you would imagine he would be under. He's appeared, if not cocky, certainly self-confident. He's been playing an active role in jury selection, which is a bit surprising. And the first day, at one point, his lawyer, Joe Amendola, wanted to strike one of the jurors, one of the potential jurors, and Sandusky overruled them and said, "I think she could be fair." This is a guy who, despite all the speculation about a plea, and there's continued speculation that he's not going to want to go through this, that he might plea bargain, he hasn't shown any sign of that, and seems to be, forging right ahead to trial, which begins on Monday.
Michael Isikoff, real quickly, the juror that he thought could be fair, this woman, isn't she the one that has ties to Mike McQuarrie's father and the medical practice that he has there?
Exactly. Very interesting ties. Her husband is in the same physicians group as the father of Mike McQuarrie, who is one of the key witnesses in this case. He's the one who, in the famous shower incident, said he saw a young boy being abused by Jerry Sandusky, and then he reported it to the late Joe Paterno.
NBC's Michael Isikoff, Sports Illustrated columnist Michael McCann. Gentlemen, thanks so much. My 2 Michaels this morning. Appreciate it.